We're with Michelle Williams. She's the Public Relations and Marketing Coordinator of Canine Companions for Independence on the Northwest region, because you guys are a huge national organization.
That's right, yeah. We were founded and are headquartered here in Santa Rosa still, founded in 1975, but we've since really grown, and we're a national organization. We have a total of 6 training centers across the country.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so here in the Northwest region, you do all the PR and all the marketing and stuff, but it seems like the scope of your job goes beyond that.
Yeah. I'm also a volunteer puppy raiser. That's how we start our puppies off. We do all of our own breeding and everything, and then our puppies go into the homes of volunteer puppy raisers that teach them basic socialization and commands, really up to about 35 commands that we teach them, and take them out into public with us and get them acclimated and really well socialized. And then the hardest part, giving them away.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, we should say you have Midas here in the studio with us, and he's a lab and golden retriever hybrid.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
the word,
right.
Hybrid or mixed?
Cross. We
sorry.
say, yeah, no problem. He's mostly Labrador retriever, but he does have a little touch of golden retriever in there.
Can you get him to stand up?
Yeah, Midas.
Yeah.
Come on, let's say hi. Good boy. Sit.
And he's a beautiful dog.
He is a really good boy.
And so, okay, so let's talk about your clientele, your client base. Like,
sure.
Who is somebody like Midas looking for?
Sure. So we train assistance dogs for people with all sorts of disabilities, including physical and cognitive disabilities. And we pair our dogs with children and adults, including veterans. So it's really a multitude of different disabilities that we cover. Our service dogs will a lot of times be matched with people who have spinal cord injuries, sometimes cerebral palsy or MS, among a multitude of others.
So the dogs are, they're so agile that they're actually good for people who have mobility issues. They can actually retrieve things for them. The dogs can literally fetch things for them, that kind of thing.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, our dogs in professional training, not with volunteer puppy raisers, but in professional training, they do learn to pick up items off the ground, to turn on and off lights, open and close doors, as well as some of them actually learn to pull a manual wheelchair, which
amazing.
is really incredible for our clients that have some shoulder issues because of that. So
that is wonderful stuff, and he is so mellow and so sweet. So we were talking a little bit before we started that this particular cross, I always feel like I'm talking about X-Men or something. Like, this mutant you guys have created. He's so, I wouldn't say docile, but he's so well behaved. And
yeah, we've had our breeding program for 40 years. We breed for calm temperament, as well as breeding out medical conditions. So our dogs are really calm. I get that a lot when I'm out in public with him. They say, "How old's your dog?" And I say, "Oh, about 1.5 years." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, my puppy's not like that at all." So they're really incredible dogs, and we breed for that.
And he's so handsome too. You guys breed for looks too?
I am very biased. I think he's the most handsome dog, that's ever been. But he's, we want them looks-wise. We like them within a certain size, basically.
Right. Well, Midas, you gonna come work with me someday? Maybe? No.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the process. So the puppy is born, right? And then he works with professionals first? Or?
He actually works with, he or she, the puppy, will work with a volunteer puppy raiser one-on-one for 1.5 years.
And are they being raised for a specific client?
They're not. Okay. So they're actually raised we don't know who they'll be going to. So I still, I'm about 2 weeks away from turn-in. And I still don't know.
Meaning it's time to.
It's time to pass the leash on. Yeah, Midas sit. He's going to be going into professional training actually 2 weeks from today.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's volunteers that working with them until they go into professional training with our professional trainers.
How do you manage that decoupling with somebody like Midas? How do you?
This is my first puppy that I'm raising, so I'm not sure. Okay. It's going to be quite the experience. I think it's really bittersweet.
Yeah.
I've heard people compare it to sending a child off to college.
Okay.
It's such a wonderful thing you're doing, and you know that they're ready for more. Right. I think also if you're ever in doubt or kind of sad about giving your puppy away, if you go to one of our graduations where the people are actually paired with their dogs and get to graduate with them, it really brings it into perspective, why we're doing what we're doing.
It's a pretty magical moment, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it really is. So.
Well, how did you develop this passion for animals and working in this environment?
Sure. Well, I've loved animals my whole life, and I think helping people with disabilities is a wonderful cause. Yeah. So it just seemed like a perfect fit.
Yeah. Did you have dogs in the family?
Yeah, I did. We had a dog growing up, a rescue, and.
Where did you grow up?
In Santa Rosa, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Santa Rosa, born and raised here, went to Santa Rosa High School.
Right on, right next door.
Yeah, right next door, yep. And then I went down to San Diego for school and came back up here after that. And really this just feels like the perfect match. I really enjoy what I'm doing.
So did you study
I studied communication and political science,
right.
And which kind of works perfectly with public relations and marketing.
I was going to say you have this interesting hybrid career because you're deep with animals and working with people with disabilities, but your job is really to be the marketing person, to be the PR person.
Yeah, for the Northwest region, to publicize our events and tell our graduates stories and our puppy raiser stories and just try to increase awareness about our organization.
Yeah. Okay, so when you're telling the tales, right, I'm sure you have anecdotes about successful pairings. Have you ever had a bad one where somebody,
it doesn't happen often. All of our
I have to ask.
Yeah, no, of course. The way our program works, we really work with the graduates during the process. They actually come to our campus, one of our regional centers, for 2 weeks of training to learn how to use the dog and to find their perfect match, really. So we really pride ourselves on making that perfect match. Usually during that 2 weeks is when we'd find out if there were any issues or something like that, and we will, replace the dog if we need to. So.
Well, excellent. We're with Michelle Williams. She's with Canine Companions for Independence, the Northwest region. She's the public relations and marketing coordinator. We'll be right back. And we're back with Michelle Williams. She's the Public Relations and Marketing Coordinator of Canine Companions for Independence, which is an it's a national organization based here in Santa Rosa. This is the Northwest region, which you work with. And I was curious because I didn't grow up with the dogs. I don't have sort of a canine past for a variety of reasons, not least of which because I had a kid brother who sufficed. But I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what these dogs can do, right? That they truly are companions. They're not just like the guy who sits on the couch and watches TV with you and gets your slippers. These are replacing sort of aspects of experience that their owners can no longer do for themselves or couldn't do for themselves.
Right. Yeah. If you can imagine, dropping a pair of keys and maybe you're in a wheelchair and you're not safely able to lean over and grab them. The dog can pick up items off the ground, pick up drop items. I've even seen one of our dogs pick up a dime off of a floor. Wow. And it's incredible. They also learn to turn on and off lights, which is really nice for people with certain disabilities where if they can't reach the light.
Well, so let me ask you, do they intuit these needs? If somebody dropped their keys, would the dog know that those keys need to be picked up, or do they need to be commanded to do that? So
typically our dogs work on commands. Okay. We don't use body movement to give commands because we don't know what the mobility or dexterity of our clients will be. Right. So we typically do it with just a word command. But some of the dogs, of course, they're really smart, incredibly intelligent dogs. And so some of them do start to pick up kind of intuitively on what their handlers need.
Right.
So sometimes you will notice a dog will, catch on to that and pick up an item before he's asked. But in general, we do, they do it on command.
I mean, it seems like after a while there would be such a rapport between, the client and their canine companion that eventually it's just like psychic.
Yeah, sometimes we'll see where not to say that the dogs are psychic, of course not, but that they really.
You said they're psychic dogs. That's awesome.
But they really do start to know what their handlers need, and also get into a schedule.
Right.
The people do the same thing most days. The dog will start to pick up on that. Readjust.
So Midas is getting up now. Is that because he knows that I need more coffee, or no? Okay.
He unfortunately can't pour coffee yet. That'll be, I'm sure, professional training.
Oh my God. So let's go through the 35 commands. I mean, I'm sure it's more than that ultimately, right?
Yeah, and when it all ends, they know about 45 commands.
Wow.
The puppy raiser teaches them, really simple things. A command could be a lap, like I showed you when he jumped up onto my lap. They also learn to jump on an item, like a bench if we need them to jump up. They'll also learn to jump into the car. A lot of really simple commands, but they string together to make some of our more advanced commands. Like, for example, a shake. When I teach, Midas learns to shake. The professional trainers will teach them to turn the light off.
Oh, I see. So you're creating a vocabulary that they can recombine, that can be recombined, and they understand a sort of grammar of activity and actions.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like we're kind of prepping them for stringing together multiple commands, or for making the commands more advanced. So, first it starts with a shake, and then the professional trainers are able to actually move that into then turning the light off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously this kind of training has occurred with dogs for millennia, right? The relationship between humankind and canine kind goes back forever. But when did service dogs start to become a regular phenomena?
I really feel like the ADI has recognized service dogs, and really about
the ADI being the American
Disabilities. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Assistance Dogs International.
Got it.
And the ADA, the American Disabilities Act, has recognized service dogs as well. And since our founding in 1975, we really feel that we've pushed this forward and trying to make it. We really feel that our dogs are the best of the best.
Yeah. I mean, there's not like a context. It's like a companion dog show. Right?
No, right.
I mean, where the dogs are fetching keys and doing that kind of thing.
Right. No.
There should be, I think, right? Because I think competition's good like that. You can.
Yeah.
Right. But, so of the companions that you've helped raise, or I know you're just now volunteering with Midas here.
Yeah.
Do you tell me about sort of the effect it has on the recipients? Do you know anyone in particular who's really had a transformative relationship with them?
Sure. Yeah, we hear incredible stories all the time, and we do train 4 different kinds of assistance dogs.
Okay.
So a lot of our service clients will say, this is really incredible. I wasn't able to confidently be independent or live on my own independently, and now that I have I think of them as people, of course.
I've been using the pronoun, yeah.
Now I have this incredible canine that can open doors for me. I don't have to ask someone, can you get this door for me? Mm-hmm. So it really allows them to live independently. We also train hearing dogs, and those dogs alert people who are deaf or hard of hearing to sounds in their environment. And there's this incredible story I'll never forget. This woman said, I wasn't going to be able to watch my grandchild. I have a new grandchild, and I can't hear a baby cry. And now this dog can alert me to that, and now I can have time with my grandchild. So that's really incredible. And then we train skilled companions for children with a multitude of disabilities. And we really hear a lot from the children and from the parents that it's not only the task that they do, but it's a social bridge, and that people will approach their child and they've never been approached, and now they're interested in the dog.
That leads me to a point of interest I wanted to explore with you. So we talk a lot about physical issues that a canine companion can help with, but let's talk about cognitive issues.
Sure.
And with children, for example, with autism spectrum disorder.
Sure.
right? Like you're saying, the dog creates a social bridge. Right?
Definitely.
Have you seen some of that?
Yeah, we have. You know, it's incredible when children are different. You know, so if it's a child that's different, sometimes it's hard for children to approach them. So it's really incredible to have the dog there as that social bridge that people now want to come and interact and say, oh, who are you, and what's your dog's name, and how old is he, and what does he help you do? And it's really incredible, the dogs, especially for children with autism, the lap command, and as well as, when they're in bed, sometimes can be used to apply deep pressure, which can really help with children with autism.
In terms of like soothing and self-soothing.
Yeah, soothing them, and some parents say it was really hard to get my child to sleep, and now that the dog is with them, kind of helping them to sleep, both parents and child get a good night's sleep.
That's great. There's been a huge uptick in Alzheimer's diagnoses, and I was wondering, with the population graying as it is with the baby boom and that kind of thing, are you seeing more people coming in for looking for companions for people with dementia and that kind of thing?
We don't. We don't see a lot of Alzheimer's.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, it just seems to me that might become a trend. Is that, perhaps that's not the kind of disorder that can be addressed by a canine companion? You know,
I think we typically look at people who have disabilities where the dog can help them with a practical task.
Right.
The dog can do something for them. But there are some disabilities like Parkinson's, for example,
right,
where it does create physical disabilities in a lot of cases, and then our dogs are perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, we're with Michelle Williams. She's with Canine Companions for Independence, the Northwest region. I just love that. She's the Public Relations and Marketing Coordinator. We'll be right back. We're back with Michelle Williams. She's the PR and Marketing Coordinator for Canine Companions for Independence, based here in Santa Rosa. It's a national organization doing great stuff with canine companions for those who need more independence in their lives. So I see this often where somebody comes into a restaurant, say, and they have a cute little dog poking out of their purse, and it's got a little jacket on it. And I'm like, there's no way that dog is truly a service dog. Is this real, where people are scamming the system like that?
Yeah, we find that a lot more. Recently, we've been seeing it everywhere, and I see it all the time when I'm out with Midas. Even it's a really big problem for our graduates, in particular, our clients
who are real service dogs and people who really need actual service dogs.
Yes, and you can find a fake vest and an ID card online for $40, and anyone can do it. And I think it's hard for the businesses as well, because they don't know what questions they can ask.
Right.
And they're worried, they don't want to cause any problems, but it really does make it hard for our graduates when they're going out in public, and maybe there's now a stigma for that an owner has had a bad dog or a misbehaving dog.
Well, let me ask you, what questions should a restaurant manager ask if they see a dog come in who they suspect is not actually a service dog?
Yeah. You can ask, is this a service dog trained to do tasks for you?
But how should they phrase it so they don't sound like they're penalizing somebody who may actually have a real service dog?
Right. I think as long as people are nice and appropriate, right, and professional when they ask, those should be questions that someone with a legitimate service dog can answer. And they can also ask, what tasks does this dog perform for you?
As a way to ascertain how they should work with that person, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, it's with.
Yeah. Do you train businesses as well as dogs to work with?
We have this great postcard that we've been kind of floating around. We want people to be educated on this issue, because it really does make it hard for our clients. But I think it's hard for the business owners as well. They're worried about their business and they don't want to cause any problems.
Right.
But it is a big problem. So it's nice when businesses do take an active.
We should do a PSA on this. I think I'm going to tell the guys back there at Public Service. Seriously, because it's
wonderful.
Pretty despicable.
It's hard. It's hard to see, and one thing that business owners should know is that if any dog, whether a legitimate service dog or not, is behaving inappropriately in their business, they can be asked to leave.
Regardless of, okay.
That's right. So that helps a little bit, but it is really hard for our clients.
Wow. Okay. Well, good to know. What does a service dog like Midas cost?
Well, the dogs are valued at about $50,000. When you imagine the breeding, the training, and everything that goes along with our national organization, valued at about $50,000 when they're ready to be matched.
Right.
But we give them away completely free of charge.
Really?
Yes, and just from donors who generously give to us, we receive very little government funding, but we're able to give the dogs free of charge to people with disabilities because of the generosity of the community.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
It's really incredible.
Wow. So if there's a family or somebody in need, they go online, they apply, or what's the process?
Go to cci.org. You can apply. The process basically is that you'll submit an application. We'll do a phone interview, an in-person interview, and then call you for a team training, which is what we call the 2 weeks where people come to be matched with their dogs.
My God, that is a fantastic program. I had no idea that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And right here in Santa Rosa is where it all started.
Yeah. So why Santa Rosa? Who founded Canine Companions for Independence?
Yeah. Well, it started in Santa Rosa, and I hear in a little barn off of Sebastopol Road is what I understand, and since has grown. And actually, our Northwest Training Center, Gene and Charles Schultz. Actually, it's the Gene and Charles Schultz Center. They donated the money and the acreage to make our campus possible. So it's really a lot of...
They're cool people. We had Craig Schultz on recently.
Oh,
He's
great.
a really cool guy.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So they're part of the, at least a local body that are contributing to...
and Jeannie's still an incredible supporter. And
Has anyone ever tried to sell a dog? I mean, terrible question, I know, but I mean...
We don't. We don't, but we hear of organizations...
I mean, like aftermarket dogs, like somebody gets the canine, like...
I've never heard of that.
Okay.
We do have, a contract that people sign and different things like that, so I've never heard of that. But in general, there are people who sell service dogs, either privately trained or through organizations, and people pay upwards of,
No, I mean just like
tens of
dubious
thousands
people
of dollars.
who go through the program, obtain a dog, and then try to...
We haven't had that issue, luckily.
Yeah. I mean, do people, harkening back to fraud, there's the fake little jackets. Do people try to sell animals that they are pretending are actually trained for service?
Well, people do sell service dogs.
That aren't actually service dogs?
I don't know. It's so hard to know. The training, it's hard to say on whose level of training is that service dog. Maybe the dog knows a few commands and they consider it a service dog. But for us, our dogs know about 40 plus commands, including a lot of things that are going to make it easier for people to live independently.
Right.
So,
and it's a weird question, but so if we were going to do a PSA, well, actually, why don't we just do a PSA? Seriously, if you feel you can jump into this, I know it's out of the blue, but we've got 3 cameras here. I'd probably pick that one, and just tell us what we need to know to get a hold of you to participate. And I'll have the guys take that bit and we'll make it autonomous.
Fantastic.
Ready?
Yeah. If you're interested in learning more about Canine Companions for Independence, please visit cci.org. You can also, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Please visit cci.org. If you're interested in being a volunteer, you can also find information on that online. Puppy raising, breeder caretaking, there's a number of ways to get involved.
Okay, great. That's good. Okay, we can work with that.
Okay.
That's very cool of you. Thanks for doing that last minute, but we like to double it all up here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Michelle Williams, Public Relations and Marketing Coordinator for Canine Companions for Independence, Northwest Region. Awesome, and it's so great to meet Midas, and you guys are doing such wonderful stuff. Can you have him do the thing again?
Come on, bud.
There he is. Okay, now we can see you.
He says, I was just in work mode, just hanging out until my person told me to do something.
Yeah. Very cool. I hope you come back. Maybe bring another animal.
Yeah. We really appreciate you having us.
Thanks for coming. Yeah. Cheers.
Have a great day.